Welcome to another episode of The Latest with Maya. Today, I am very excited to be having a conversation with Brad Corrigan and Chad Stokes of Dispatch. Thank you guys so much for being on my show. I am very excited to be talking with you.
Hey,
Thanks for having us.
good to be.
Hmm.
Yeah. So first of all, Brad, I just want to say that it was so much fun meeting you at the Denver Film Festival and to speak with you there. And so I'm very excited to be talking with both of you right now.
It was so fun to meet you and your family. So thanks for this.
Yeah. So I love all of your music. Where do you find inspiration for your songs?
You can kind of find them all over. That's kind of the fun part. You never know where it's coming from, and it could be a book you're reading, something that happened to you, or thinking about an old relationship. That was this or that. It can be romantic. It can be political. It's just kind of you just kind of try to be open to it, to whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, cool. Um, so where did the inspiration for your song The General come from?
I think it came from um I guess just reading books about the things they carried by Tim O'Brien about Vietnam, and All Quiet on the Western Front, about World War I, and I was so somewhere in between 1918 and 1960, probably closer to 1918. Uh, this idea came, um, about a like subordinate general who tells his who tells his soldiers to go home. Um, but I would say just reading about kind of the horrors of war and the details. um, I was just kind of floored by this idea that these men of power send these children to war to kill each other. um, and how it's kind of a it's too bad that we haven't, as humankind, we haven't evolved past that violence, because it's so horrid. So I think that's kind of where it came from.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember, I don't know, just learning about like in school, all these different wars and history and having to read books about them. All of it, I felt so sick reading it.
Yeah, it seems so needless. It
Yeah,
really. And then
yeah,
years later, you're just walking down the street with that person who decades before you would have been trying to shove a bayonet into, or trying to shoot. It's just it really isn't. Violence isn't good for anything.
It's
yeah,
strange too. Even the concept, as you were saying, history and learning history, all history, like I'm 49, and all I can think of with history, whether it's, elementary, high school, or college, is it's wars.
Right.
yeah,
I mean, that's what history is. Do you remember this war? Do you remember that war? Do you remember this massacre? Do you remember this incident? What a what a strange reality that's what history is, as opposed to, do you remember
yeah,
the advent of this? Do you remember the invention of this? Do you remember the hope that was infused into the world through
yeah,
this? Yeah,
yeah,
that is pretty rough. Huh.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Um,
history repeats itself, and it
yeah,
does.
yeah. Eh, yeah, that's what like gives me one thing that gives me the most anxiety is when people say history repeats itself. I'm always just like, please no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, one thing, Maya, we can hopefully find some solace in connecting with more people who are like-minded around not wanting certain histories to repeat and
Yeah.
sharing in the comfort of being together, stronger together, trying to. I think the phrase came from Chad and his solo project, but waging peace. I just think the idea of, and I'm not sure where Chad got that, but wage peace versus wage war. It's really profound. And the more of us that believe in waging peace, um, the more I guess the more comfortable I feel. Because yeah, if you look outward, it's too scary.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Um, so is there an artist or a song that you consider to be the gold standard when it comes to songwriting and storytelling?
Wow,
Mm.
that is an amazing question.
Thank you.
Woo! I
Um,
I I can only respond with first what first came into my mind.
yeah,
Bob Marley as the artist, that was the first thing that landed for me, and then I immediately the song War. Now that's just a quick response because of free associating it, probably
Yeah.
based on the conversation we
Yeah.
had.
yeah.
There's so many different kinds of songwriting, but I will say in terms of truth, in terms of evoking something with the listener, and also just wonderful music. I think that particular song and Bob Marley as an artist hits on all cylinders.
And
Yeah.
written by the Emperor Selassie,
Yep.
which is
Haile
kind of
Selassie.
a neat collaboration.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool.
I'm gonna say the first thing that came to my mind was kind of what the song "The General" was. You asked about influences, and I only told you kind of lyrically, but it was really influenced by Jimi Hendrix's "Castles Made of Sand," and and the lyrics in that song are so great. It's like each verse tells this little mini it gives you this little mini cinematic experience. So I think that's really hard to do. It's I struggle sometimes to condense a story into one song, but some of these artists tell a whole story in a verse. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, I actually I love writing lyrics. So I always love hearing people's gold standards.
Yeah,
Hmm.
what's yours?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is yours?
Oh, um there's a few there. I love the singer Macy Peters. She is one of my favorite singers.
Huh.
Um and I love all her music. There's a few songs definitely that I kind of look to, and that's her songs John Hughes Movie and Take Care of Yourself.
Okay. I'll
What?
Um
write
so
that down.
yeah.
John Hughes movie. Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
What kind of lyrics do you write or do you enjoy?
Oh, I mean, I kind of take most of my songs are because I've kind of been uh having health issues for most of my life, so I don't like have certain experiences that a lot of people my age have, so I take a lot of inspiration from like different shows and movies that I watch.
Hmm,
So
awesome.
thank you. Yeah. So yeah. And Macy Peters' song "Take Care of Yourself," that is actually one song that I have all her music on repeat, but that one, especially when I'm like feeling a lot of anxiety, I listen to that song.
Hmm,
So
cool.
yeah.
Can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, it's really good. Um, yeah. So is there a song of yours that is your favorite?
Changes.
Uh, top of my mind is "Came for the Fire" because I think it's one of our favorite songs to play live. So every now and then there's a song where you just cannot wait to see what your mates do on stage because of how it just plays to each of our strengths, and
Mm,
I get really excited for. Even because there's probably, I'm not sure there's a song that we sing that has more dynamic. Like there are holes in the song where it's essentially just our harmonies.
Yeah.
And then there are other sections in the song where we've never played a thicker, louder, more distorted wall of sound. So
Yeah.
I really enjoy the back and forth on that one.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So do you have a specific process when you're writing your songs?
Boy, I
um,
mm,
no, not no. It's kind of like, sometimes I'll hear a phrase and I'll be like, oh, I wonder what would that phrase sound like if it was sung, and or what would John Fogerty from CCR, what would he sing that like, kind of drawing on influences like that. Um, but usually it's kind of when we are kind of absent-minded and just kind of messing around.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Um, so what song, no matter how many times you hear it, can always make you emotional?
outside of performing as dispatch? Or
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Good. Much easier to answer.
Yeah.
I think. I think much easier to answer.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, there's a song that's not very old, but my wife and I may have played it more than in the last 3-ish years than any other song we've ever played. And it's called Gratitude. The artist is Brandon Lake. He's known to be kind of like a worship singer at a particular church, but he wrote this song about gratitude. And I think, when Lisa and I we're in a big change. We moved a couple years ago. It's good, but a move is hard. We left our community of friends and so much else at home in Colorado, and I think, two chances to think. You can think about what you don't have or don't have yet, or the things that are lacking, or you can be grateful for and try to keep building positivity like your mom does. So the song Gratitude to me is like this reminder, like, come on, choose to be present and be thankful for anything that's around you. And it just
Yeah.
helps us a lot.
Yeah. I love that.
I
What's
I
you, Sean?
the other day to Bob Dylan's "Tomorrow Is a Long Time," um, and it's just kind of he's just lonely, and I think that time is moving very slowly for him, and it's just sad. Um, so I think it's those sad songs that I don't know, in a way in a way they make me sad and make me feel lonely too. But there's also comfort in knowing someone else feels that way, enough to write a song about it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, whenever I hear Because of You by Kelly Clarkson, that song
Yeah,
always makes me cry. Cause one, it's just a very emotional song, and two,
yeah,
for me, it's very relatable, so it always makes me cry.
yeah. That's so interesting because at first you think Because of You, you think it's going to be like a love song, but
Yeah,
then it's like lyrics are different. It's like because of, it's like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like she's like kind of upset with that person she's talking to.
yeah,
Like, you damaged me,
yeah,
which is like at first it's not what you think with kind of like a pop song lyric. Because of You think it's going to be like, kind of like a love song, but it's not. I do. That song is really great.
yeah. Yeah. Um, so what genre of movie would your life story be told as?
Such great questions.
Thank you.
Gosh.
Um,
What genre do I want it to be told in, or what will it naturally play to? Oh boy.
yeah,
Oh,
like Mission Impossible.
I know I was like, I want it to be straight up like action born
yeah.
Mission Impossible, but it's probably a cheesy rom-com like The Proposal.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with it. I guess I'd probably fall into the rom-com category.
I don't know. We could. I
I
mean,
love that.
we also like, the book and the movie Motorcycle Diaries. Like,
Mm.
it could be, Brad. It could be like a buddy film.
I'm down. I'm so down. It could be sort of a play on Bottle Rocket too. I mean, there are moments when it's
Yes.
zany Wes Anderson. So
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah, I would want my life to be told as a rom-com because those are some of my favorite movies. So
mine too, Maya. Mine too.
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. But we see the most of around my life too.
Chad, remind me, what's the name of the one with Paul Rudd that you want Lisa and I to watch?
Wander.
Oh,
Wanderlust?
Yes.
Wanderlust. Okay. Gosh, I keep 10 times we've sat down to watch and we can't remember what it is. Wanderlust.
I, kind of like like it's so hard to remember sometimes.
I'm
How do you remember?
actually going to write that down because I haven't seen that one and I love Paul Rudd. So
You like this movie's for you.
You gave us Macy Peters, so it's good.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's great.
yeah, cool. Yeah. Um, well, thank you for that movie recommendation. So, yeah. So, well, do you have a favorite rom-com?
Ooh,
Mine might be Notting Hill.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, good answer.
yeah.
Notting Hill Spike. You can't beat the character Spike. It's not possible.
Mm.
And gosh, they're so good.
Yeah.
The only rom com we own is The Proposal. So
Well,
there's
I love both of those movies. So, yeah. Yeah, one of my favorites is it's a Reese Witherspoon movie called Home Again.
Hmm.
That I have seen more times than I can count. So that
That it's the one with like the poor man's Matthew McConaughey. The other guy who looks like Matthew McConaughey, kind of. And it's like there's lightning that strikes the sand.
no, that's Sweet Home Alabama. Um,
Uh,
yeah, Home Again came out in 2017.
okay.
So yeah,
Have you guys seen? I just had to pull this up because I couldn't remember. Have you guys seen Hot Pursuit with Reese
Yes.
Witherspoon and Sofia
Yeah.
Vergara?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I have to wear a diaper when I watch that. That's the funniest movie of all time. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in a really long time, but I remember when I watched it, I really liked it.
It, it makes me laugh so hard.
Yeah.
Hot pursuit. Okay.
Hot Pursuit.
Sure.
Yeah. Sybil will, you guys will have loud laughter, Chad.
Okay. That's
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
okay.
um, so if you had a warning label, what would yours say?
Hmm.
For a warning label about like us as individuals.
Yes. Yeah.
Goodness.
Caution. Um, something about my ADD. It would. That's my takeaway. That caution. Um, I don't know. This you know this person is um
May not be here.
yeah, just yeah, kind of is uh or if I am, it's yeah, it's like, I don't know. Hard to put a word on it, but that's I would just say caution, ADD. Maybe my name spelled with the CHADD.
That's great.
Yeah.
Just check.
My warning label would either be a slight play on Chad's warning, this person may not remember what you said, say it thrice, or warning, this guy can be very long-winded. You might want to pull up a chair.
I love those. Yeah, mine would probably be something along the lines of like prone to anxiety, don't overload. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, because yeah, I have a lot of anxiety. Just the other day, I called my best friend in a panic. Like I was just freaking out, and so I just called him. I was like, I need you to distract me. Just start talking. Tell me something. And so
Oh,
I think so many of us have more anxiety today than, well, I can't speak for what people had in previous generations, but I think we see
yeah,
so many things all over the globe, and it's all kind of coming home into our finite brains and hearts. And it's a lot. There's a lot out there that makes us feel that way. But
yeah,
funny enough, for me, I mean, a phone call to a friend is top of the list. The other thing for me is watching a movie.
yeah.
Somehow it cuts like you just immerse yourself in a
Yeah,
funny any movie just to change your thought flow.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I have, yeah, a lot of comfort shows and movies that are just my
Mm,
go-to when I'm feeling super anxious and can't
mm,
really focus on anything.
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. So well, speaking of shows, as I am pop culture obsessed, and I go in stages of shows that I just cannot stop watching. Is there a show that you're currently obsessed with?
My wife and I surprisingly obsessed over the show Alone, which is a survival show where like 10 people are dropped in northern Canada or in the Arctic Circle, and they essentially get to go out with 10 different items, and it's just a race to see who can last the longest living in freezing, brutal, difficult environment. And they film themselves. They're completely alone, but they film their day to day. And so we get really into that. And then when the season's over, we're like, what do we do now?
Mm. Yeah. Um,
Again, are you asking about a TV show? Um trying to think the last one we were really into. Oh, we've been watching The Gilded Age about New York City in like the 1880s.
wow.
The Gilded Age.
Yeah, but it's like it's kind of fascinating. It's a little glossy, but I do love those kind of uh historical dramas.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I've been recently I've been binge watching the show Grimm. Um and so I've been obsessing over that show. Um
Grim.
yeah,
GRIM.
Grimm.
MM.
Yeah.
Ah, about the Brothers Grimm.
Yeah, it's a take on the Grimm fairy tales. It's about a
Yeah.
detective.
Is it
Um,
scary?
yeah, it's creepy. Yeah, they have because I mean, I didn't know a ton of the Grimm fairy tales. I knew a couple, and they're obviously really dark, so the show is dark, but
Yeah.
it's really good. I lately though, I because I've been having more anxiety, I've started watching it and then it just gets too much that I have
Too
to
dark.
stop it. But
Yeah.
most of the time um I do love it. So when my anxiety isn't super high, I watch it.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, I've seen. I feel like I've seen ads for it or something. It looked a little dark for me,
Mm, yeah.
but
I
exciting.
yeah, I had wanted to watch it for a while, but I because there's so many people in it that I love, but I was always hesitant because of how dark it was. And then
Yeah.
finally, I was just like, I'm just gonna start it. I want to watch it. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
Maya, I have to go and pick up my kids, and I don't think I'm going to be able to hear you that well driving in this
Okay,
old beater. So I better sign off.
okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I've had so much fun talking with you.
Oh well, it's been my pleasure, and I'm sorry I have to leave a little early, but good luck. I'm so glad the scan was stable, and thanks for
Thank
these
you.
amazing questions. This has been one of the best interviews we've ever had.
I
Oh,
agree.
thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank
Bradley, I'll talk to you later.
Bye, Charlie. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Um, so Brad, do you have just a couple more minutes for
Of course.
I have a couple just a few more questions if that works.
No problem.
Thank you. So what motivates you every day?
Kindness. I think, yeah, I just think the more I live, the more I'm realizing small acts of kindness are, it's all I have that I can control. So whether
Yeah.
it's with a neighbor or someone at the grocery store or someone in an airport, trying to be eyes up and smiling and being available to kindness and also available to receiving it. I think if my head is down and I'm in my phone or kind of self-isolating, I can't receive kindness that other people are wanting to give. So I think just seeing the world is too fast, I think, to echo and amplify darkness and brokenness and dissonance and fear. And I think kindness, waking up and thinking, who can I be kind to today, and who can I receive kindness from today, is a much more hopeful cornerstone, a way to live.
Yeah. I love that. Um, so of all that you have accomplished so far, is there something that you are the most proud of?
I think I'm the most proud of still being able to create. I think, and to do it in relationships where kindness has held us together. I think it'd be very easy to have been in and out of 5 different bands at this point. It's easier to break up a band or break up a relationship than it is to get into the mess and who you are and what mess you bring, like to own your own issues. And I think I can look around, whether it's Love Light and Melody, the nonprofit that I've been so fortunate to be part of in Nicaragua, serving kids, or in Dispatch for 25-ish years with Chad. And it's just long relationships. I'm just really grateful that they still exist and that we're still going. More than these individual moments of celebrating something. It's just nice to be still in relationship with people and creating.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. So what small things bring you joy on a daily basis?
My tiny little daughter Vera, she is 16 months, and my slightly larger but still tiny son, his name is Amos, and he's 3. But I will say my this moment with you, connecting with you, even though we're in different places, just to have a moment together and learn more about you and to see your smile and how you're using your platform. Those are really filling moments.
Well, thank you. That means a lot to hear you say.
Hmm.
Thank you. And I'm so happy to have connected with you.
Well, likewise, thank you so much for coming to the Denver Film Festival and asking such great questions and connecting today. I hope we're able to remain connected. We'd love to keep
Me
our
too.
friendship and conversation going as much as you would like that.
Yeah, I would love that. Um, so I just have 2 more questions for
Okay.
you, if that works.
Yeah.
Um, so who do you most admire, and how has that impacted the way you live your life?
I would say it's kind of it's a two-person answer. I most admire Jesus, the life and teachings of Jesus, not the religious institution built around Jesus. And then I most admire my grandfather, because my grandfather's life, I think, reflected the the core truth and beauty in the life and teachings of Jesus, that to lay your life down is to find your life. The greatest way to be the greatest purpose in your life is to be a servant, is to serve and uplift others. um you're not to believe that there's not enough to go around. Instead, you're to believe that there will always be enough and to share. The idea that we are all one family as opposed to a bunch of strangers. I think my grandfather was very quiet. He didn't say a lot, but his actions were very loud. He was the first one to pull over if someone had a flat tire. He was the first one to deliver food for Thanksgiving. He actually used to run the Denver Rescue Mission. It was called the Denver Rescue Mission, and it was to feed the homeless and provide beds for the homeless in downtown Denver. So as a kid, I just watched my grandpa use his privilege and his platform of having all that he needed to serve and uplift those who didn't have what they needed. So I think he made Jesus very real to me in a practical way, what loving kindness looks like, as we stop trying to do things for just us. You just start looking outwardly and looking for those who you can help and serve, and in so doing you are helped and served because you become connected to people.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. So I love inspiring and motivational quotes. And this week, my favorite quotation is by Liz Newman. And it says, "It's funny how a song can imprint itself onto your heart in such a powerful way. It becomes a part of your soul's soundtrack, a permanent part of your playlist." Is there a quotation that has inspired you lately?
Yeah, I know I took a screenshot of something even yesterday, and I don't fully remember what it is. Ah, okay. Yeah, this is from a journalist author, a guy named Nick Kristof, and it's about the sadness and the world. I think around the Israeli-Palestinian war that's happening. Too many see events through a prism in which lives are invaluable on one side, while deaths on the other are regrettable. The lives of Israeli, American, and Palestinian children all have equal value, and we should act like it. So, just the thought that I think we over identify where we come from, our background, when we create these wars. I think we need to first identify that children are the world's most precious asset, period. Wherever they come from, whatever they look like, whatever language they speak.
Yeah.
And I just wish that we would have them in every room as we're making decisions and think about the cost of this next generation that we are charged to raise up.
Yeah. Well, I love that quote, and yeah, it's so true. Um well, it was so much fun talking with you. I just had a great time, and I'm so happy we could connect, and I so appreciate your taking the time. So
We are
thank you.
honored, Maya. Thank you likewise. So fun and some of the best questions we've been asked. That is so very, very thoughtful and creative of you.
Thank you. Um, yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day. And that's a wrap on today's edition of The Latest with Maya.